Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today for the Rethink Learning Rewind. That's what we'll call this time together. And so this week we have Dr. Nicol Howard, the regular Nicole, and the doctor. It's an inside joke. I'm going to say that forever. I'm going to say that forever. We have regular Nicole, and we have the Dr. Nicol Howard. And I'm really excited to have you. Do you want to introduce yourself in case there's someone who wouldn't know you, Dr. Howard, but maybe somebody's here that doesn't know you?
Yeah, sure. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Redlands in their Department of Teaching and Learning. And I'm excited to have a conversation with Nicole, even though she's has this name, and it is an inside joke that she uses. But truth be told, she's about to be Dr. Nicole Taylor. So I'm really excited about that for her, and happy to have a conversation always with her, but especially on this topic today.
What are you
So
gonna
thank
do? Then you won't be able to call me regular Nicole. We have to get a
Dr.
name.
Taylor.
Hey, I like it. I like it. So we are like what three today? I think we're 3 weeks out from the Rethink Learning Summit, and Nicole and I are friends. So part of being my friend means that I get to call you and talk about all these things that I'm thinking about, right?
All the
And so
things.
I'm always just thinking. I really am passionate about like supporting teachers, like being that support for the classroom teacher that I really needed when I
Mhm.
was in the classroom. So I am I'm really passionate about that. I'm always thinking about ways because I think that's the hardest job in the district, because they have so many things, to do and to move kids and blah, blah, blah. So I'm always really thinking about how I can use what I have and use what I know to make things better.
Mm.
So one of the things that I want to talk about is like your session. So you had a session about prioritizing parent engagement, and hopefully everyone has watched it because it was really good. It was an on-demand session that was released during the summit, and we've talked about the importance of prioritizing parent engagement, but you also talk about how to make school settings a place that is welcoming for not just those parents, but for all parents, right? And how to create inclusive community. Why do you think that is? I was going to say why do you think that's so important, but especially now, like in the middle of COVID-19, like why do you think that's so important?
Yeah, I like this question because I've been thinking a lot about how we have traditionally thought about parent engagement, and it's always been like getting a parent to show up to school in some way to either meet or have a conversation. It could be positive, but it could be for any reason. You're trying to get the parents to come to school, even by having like events at night. I know that there's been, over the years, some adjustments to when you invite parents to campus as far as the time goes, to try to make sure that they can come to campus if they're working, etc. But right now, the learning is happening primarily at home. It has been for some time in light of COVID. The pandemic has called for parents to be the ones supporting more than more for some. Some have always been engaged in that way, but it's definitely shifted how we're engaged with our students or our children at home. And so I think right now it's really important to have the conversation, because we can't do the typical check-ins to see what learning has been happening over summer, right? And I'm really curious to see if summer, we used to call it summer slide.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't, I'm like, it, did we slide or not? Because maybe not. I mean, maybe there are students who are thriving, who are doing well at home right now because socially, emotionally, they needed the support of parents and are doing well having that. Right. And then there might be some who who've had to experience some different inequities. And so things may have been more difficult for them. But we should be having those parent conversations and partnering with parents to figure out how we can support.
Yeah, I think to like, pre-COVID, I think what one thing that I know even I experienced as a teacher mama, because a lot of times, as an educator, sometimes I can say that I would say, oh, I already know that, or I don't need that, or I'll just text the teacher, because I always have a really good relationship with my kids' teachers, even my junior. But I will tell you that during this at-home learning time, talk about parent partnership.
Right.
Talk about really having to partner with all of their teachers to ensure that, like, I'm good on my end, to ensure that they're good, that Caden, Kaylee, and Paul all had what they needed as well. So when you talk about like parent engagement and what it looked like before,
Hmm.
I think about some campuses who, have like the open house and the parent
Back to school
meeting.
night.
Yeah, yeah. And even as I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about when those things take place and how you can make those to where, it is at a time that's convenient, or carnivals or those kind of things. But we can't do those things this school year. Like
Right.
that is totally out. But I think one thing that I know that I bear witness to, just even as a mom, not even as an educator, is that like we needed their teachers. We needed them, and
Yeah.
so when you talk about engaging parents, I think we're gonna have to be creative as far
Yeah.
as what that looks like this school year, for sure.
We have to be very creative. And I mean, there are certain schools that will be in communities where it will be as simple as Zoom or Google Meet or whatever their virtual platform video conferencing tool might be. They'll be able to use that. But I think this, you have me thinking about even my own son when they made that shift. It was not as difficult as thinking about the stories that I heard from other students and other families, because his teacher was always about partnering with the parents.
Mhm.
And so she had a line to us, right? She had an app she used to communicate. She used email. She used phone if necessary. She had all these different ways that she would partner with the parents and figure out how to communicate with us. And so the transition was not difficult. And so if we don't prioritize, just as you said, partnering with parents right now, he just got his welcome to fifth grade letter from the teacher, and in it, she addressed parents and she's saying she's looking forward to partnering with us. And I think that's key, is allowing parents to feel that they are a part of the learning process, especially if you're in a district where you're starting at home. I mean,
Yes.
you have no choice but to partner.
Yes, that's when we're all staying home this school year. And my elementary kids, we've already received an email because we're having a Google Meet, because they wanna meet. They have one new teacher. It's great. Their reading teacher actually is looping with them, and so
Nice.
they'll have one teacher. But I mean, she stayed in contact with them all summer long. Kaden did a book study. She wanted in on it. She wanted to share with other kids, but that's so important. And I can see a difference in their work, a difference in their commitment to learning and growing, because of the partnership they know that I have with their teachers as well. So it
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think it does extend the school year in a way. I mean, you just had me thinking of it too, how you said your teacher, your children's teacher, you heard from her or him up until recently, and it was the same for us. Like, I didn't even realize that the Remind app, that everything was still set up, until I got the message day before the new teacher emailed saying that she was archiving it, and I was like, hold up. Your archive? Oh, that's right, school is about to start.
I
So,
know.
but they stayed available.
Hmm. Hmm. That means something. That's what I've been thinking about too. Like, working from home, teaching from home, that's a lot. Because I'm thinking about their teachers are juggling like their own lives, their own kids, their own work, and like still being very, very committed. But it works because back in August, before the pandemic, they made the effort to partner. You said that, like, that's I know that's part of your presentation too, but to see themselves as partner. And Melody says it heals them too when you partner with them instead of acting as an authority who doesn't need them. Because as an educator, it makes our job easier when students know that we're on the same page, that we're on the same page with their parents, for sure. I'm just thinking about what is that going to look like this year. So of course, like the get to know you, we're going to have a Google Meet with their teachers, and we're going to get to know them, and we're going to introduce ourselves. But we have some kids who will never go to school this year. They will be online for the entire school year from August to June. And that's probably going to be my kids as well. So how do you partner, or how do you, I think the intro at the beginning of the year will be easy, but I want to like think through, what does that look like? Like, how do you continually partner with people that you will never see? Like, you'll never see them at drop off and pick up and lunch and fall carnival. What do you think that's going to look like?
Yeah, I do think we're redefining parent partnership. We figured it out as educators and created all of these different virtual spaces where we could continue to connect and collaborate and communicate with each other. I wonder who might be out there as a teacher thinking about designing a space just for the parents to stay connected, a virtual space, and not a space where the teacher has to be the center and it has to be about communication from, disseminated from them to the parent, but just creating a space and taking a step back and listening to the parents and being available in case there are questions that might come up, but letting the parents access each other in a classroom. I know there's PTA, but that's very different. A PTO or a PTA on campus is driven by the school's needs, right? And what the parents want as far as the structure, the infrastructure, and other things. But I'm talking about like that classroom community. And I think it would be interesting to see if that's happening. And I think parents would appreciate having that option to be able to connect. I know that there are Facebook groups that have been created to bring parents together, and I think that those are also great things across the world. But I'm thinking about just for your class, how do you bring the parents together in a community space, and then having the students know that exists is kind of cool too. Them knowing that one student knowing their parent talked to another parent. I don't know if your kids feel excited about that. My son does. He gets excited when he knows that I've talked to somebody else's parents.
Yeah, they do when they know we most of the time their friends. You befriend the parents because they can't drive. You have to get them where they need to be. But they do enjoy that. When you were talking, I immediately thought I think Flipgrid is a great tool for all the things, and so I was just thinking, how cool would it be? Because I know a lot of schools or districts have a Facebook page, but it is it's usually regulated and monitored. But just creating a space, I'm just Flipgrid would be great for that, to just let parents post their questions, talk back and forth, or even we're having these beginning of the year Google Meet meetings or Google Zoom meetings, meet the teacher, but even just having those monthly or every other month or just periodically, because I hadn't thought about that. A lot of those relationships are formed on field trips or in class parties or at lunch, and we just won't have that, and it's needed. Not just the partnership between teacher and parent, but also parents to partner with each other as well.
Yes to Flipgrid. Yes.
Yes to Flipgrid. Melody, yes to Flipgrid for all the things. I love Flipgrid. So these are all really, really good ideas. And, I'm always questioning, right? And coming up with ideas because, if there's a problem, there has to be a creative solution, right? And there's not going to be one answer that makes everything work for everyone. So I was thinking, and this because I've been thinking with you via text and phone, and that just comes with being my friend, Dr. Howard. That's how it goes. That if I'm thinking about partnering with parents, which my kids go to school in my district, I know their teachers, but even that, I have easier access to them, but I do make it a point to reach out to them, to make sure I call them and see what they need, and just be a supportive parent. But I've been thinking, like, if I am trying to unpack this, like, how many other teachers are trying to unpack this and need support and need a plan and need tools? Because what would be terrible is a lot of schools are starting remotely, but I have a feeling that we're going to be like remote, not remote, remote, not remote, probably for a while. And what would really damage, or what would cause damage or be harmful, is if we haven't established a way to partner with parents, from the
Yes.
beginning of the school year.
From the beginning, you're right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and like you said, there's like that common way of the survey, that goes out, the digital, the online survey. But I think you have to follow up with phone calls, and call and try to talk to parents and connect with them, letting them know that there's a line of communication that's open between you and them. I think establishing, as you just mentioned too, those digital spaces or virtual spaces early on, because if you come back, it doesn't mean that the virtual spaces have to go away. If you come back, face to face, and then you go back to remote again, you can still have those spaces to continue to stay connected. But you're right, you have to start and think about what's the plan now, and the plan should start with some point of communication, some touch point, whether it's phone, survey, email, some way that you're gathering data to learn about your family. And in the survey, let me be clear, that the survey should include what technology they have access to, which is why I say you may have to pick up a phone and call as well, right? You
Like,
may
pick
have,
it up and dial, like,
yes.
yeah, okay.
Let me tell you, you might have to drive by a school, a
Mhm.
home, and drop a note at the front door, ring the bell, and step back.
To make connections. That's one thing. And Melody points out something. She was just saying, a Facebook group for your class may be a good way to be connected. But even with that comment, like, realizing that not all parents are good with tech or have
Well,
the tech, right?
or not all are on Facebook.
You're right about that. Are they not? Where are they? Where are they? If they're, or some, and I know some people who just elect to be off Facebook for whatever reason. So you might have to take it old school and
But I
pick up
think
your house phone. People have those still, and call, or your cell
drop
phone,
a
make a
note,
call or drop a
drop,
letter for sure.
drop a note.
Hmm.
So even before, like, so I'm even thinking, I'm very grateful. We did move schools for my son because we wanted a community, a school that was embracing the community partnership aspect of learning. And I'm grateful for the move because I remember when he first started fourth grade, we came home one day to a sign stuck in our front yard from his new teacher
Nice.
saying, yes, with a picture of him on it, welcome to,
Aww.
so I think that there are creative ways, if you are, especially, if you are in a community where the students don't, even if they live kind of spread out, I know you can, sometimes the district boundaries don't take you too far away, but if schools would support teachers driving and dropping off, some sort of a welcome packet, that might be nice for parents too, especially those that don't have the Wi-Fi and access.
Those are really good suggestions. And I wouldn't say, like, we weren't teaching online in the spring. Like, everybody agrees that was crisis teaching. It was like, we're in a global pandemic, let's do something
Yeah.
now. But I did see a lot of posts, and a lot of comments about people, like, couldn't reach parents, kids didn't log in. So to have that parent support, like, you may have to leave your computer, right? You may have to put something put something in the mail. Melody said community matters. Forming community is how we reach families. And so that
Yes.
may be a little different than what you are used to doing, but the end result is meeting parents where they are. That may be a letter, that may be a phone call, that may be an email. They may not be on Twitter. They may not be on Facebook, or even care to get on tech. But at the end of the day, it's finding those creative solutions so that we truly can partner with them for sure. for
I
sure.
like that Melody also brought up the community piece again, because that's also, if you think about where can my child gain a device or obtain a device if
Mhm.
we don't have a district that has them readily available,
Mhm.
there are some organizations and communities. There are some community businesses that are looking to donate. So, communities need to be involved in partnering with schools just as much as we're trying to partner with our parents. It's all of us in this together. How are we going to make sure that our students, our children feel supported right now and beyond this moment, quite honestly, because once we do go back face to face, it will still be in a transition period and adjusting, because this has been a while of being
Yes.
away from classrooms.
Hmm. Hmm. And if we put good things into practice now, Melody is just tearing it up. Like she's in the comments. She's watching. Melody, I miss you today. But Melody makes another great point, and the things that we're talking about. Like they work face to face, and they work virtually, and even post pandemic. Like it will never be a bad idea to partner
Right.
with parents, right?
Right. Right.
Right. It's just good. That's just part of good teaching. That's just part of a part of what we do.
Yes.
So this is my idea. We are 3 weeks out from Rethink Learning Summit. Dr. Howard has an amazing session. It's prioritizing parent engagement. So if you made it to Rethink Learning Summit, then you have access to this session and you've watched this session, but perhaps you're like, hey, these are great ideas, but what's next? Like, how do I actually do this? Like, what does this look like? What we were thinking, or to actually provide space to allow you to unpack these things to actually plan. I feel like that's always the missing piece with professional development is that we go, we learn the thing, and we had fun. We had 2 days of fun. We had great music, dancing, connections. Like we built a great community, but I feel like when you build a community, you also are obligated to nurture the community. And so, as a member of a community, we're all obligated to continue nurturing each other and to continue helping each other grow. So, coming up in the next couple of weeks, what we're going to do is we're just going to provide opportunities for you to unpack some of that learning and to like build a plan with other educators who are also wanting to take the learning and put it into practice. So one of those ideas may be like maybe you need help and you want help with what does it look like to partner with parents in virtual space. We'll have a work session around that. Perhaps you're looking at what does it look like to be culturally relevant in the online learning space. So we'll have work sessions around that. SEL, being trauma informed, writing in the classroom, especially in the virtual space. So all the things, Melody said she loves that. Nurture our community. I really feel like we created something special, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm finding is that you don't have to wait on someone to create what you need, right? If you need space and you need to be in community with like-minded people, then we're able to create that. And I feel like that's exactly what we did. We have a community of educators who really want to rethink what we're doing. Like not just doing it for the sake of doing it the way it's been done, but rethink it. So hopefully you are a member of our Facebook group. I'll be posting information there. If you were at the Rethink Learning Summit, I will also send out an email so that we can start planning. I want to see where you want to start. So I'll just send out some information to see where you think we should start for this school year, and then we will dive in. Dr. Howard's already said she's on board. She will jump in and she
Yes.
will help us with this parent engagement piece. And we have other presenters, other speakers who are more than willing to help us to just kind of put some things in place. Because it's more than just learning and soaking it up. Like we want to actually, create space so that we can do something with our new learning. So, Dr. Howard, do you have anything you would like to say in closing? I appreciate you. I love spending time with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. I just say let's go get it. Let's go
Yeah,
do this learning thing together. Let's partner, parents, community, each other with our students, and let's move forward together collectively. I'm excited.
me too. Melody said you're amazing. I totally
Oh, thank you,
agree.
Melody.
And that's you're the amazing Nicol. the amazing, the
Melody
amazing
got you
Nicole.
started.
Yes, the amazing Nicole. So, Dr. Howard, if people want to connect with you, because some people are watching this live, what if people who are watching it later, anyone who wants to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
Um, you mean like my website? You know, I'm not good with it. Look, I'm trying.
All the things,
All
all
the
the
things.
things.
So the website is NicolHoward.com, but Nicole without an E, Nicol Howard.com. I'm on Twitter, Nicole R. Howard. It's Nicole, no E and no K.
Just regular Nicole.
No, see, that's not regular. That's actually very unique.
I'm extra Nicole with that K. I know.
There we go.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful time. I appreciate you taking time to chat with me today about parent partnerships. This is good. We got to
Thank
keep
you
this
so much.
conversation
Yes,
going.
we do. We do. So thanks again, Dr. Howard. Dr. Howard is somebody that you want to connect with. She's always sharing resources and things that help us all just to be better and to be reflective, also to push us to be a little bit more reflective in our practices. Rethink Learning Summit. Join our Facebook group. We are continuing to grow this community and nurture this community. So hopefully you are following our Facebook group or on our email list where you will receive more information about our next step. So thank you so much for joining this afternoon, Dr. Howard.
Thank you.